Ladies and gentlemen, I need to have an honest conversation with you today. As a woman who's been in relationships, who's made mistakes, and who's seen patterns in my own behavior and my friends' behavior, I want to share something important. There are certain text messages that signal when someone, male or female, is emotionally disconnecting from their relationship. These aren't excuses for bad behavior, but they are warning signs that your partnership needs immediate attention. 1. The sudden communication shift. The first warning sign appears in how communication patterns suddenly change. You'll notice messages that feel different, shorter, more distant, less personal. Instead of her usual warm texts like, "Hope you're having a good day, thinking about you," you start getting responses like, "Okay," or "Sure," or "Fine." I've been guilty of this myself. When I was feeling disconnected from a past relationship, I found myself giving minimal responses. Not because I wanted to be cruel, but because I was emotionally withdrawing. I was protecting myself from feeling vulnerable with someone I was growing distant from. Here's what's really happening. When someone starts feeling unfulfilled or disconnected in a relationship, they begin creating emotional distance as a form of self-protection. They're not consciously planning anything. They're just responding to feeling unsatisfied or unheard. The texts become functional rather than emotional. "Running late, will be there soon," instead of "Sorry babe, traffic is crazy but excited to see you." "Thanks," instead of "Thank you so much, you're amazing." "Okay," instead of "Sounds perfect, can't wait." This shift often happens gradually, so partners don't always notice right away. But when you look back, you can see the warmth and personality slowly draining from the messages. If you're seeing this pattern, it's time for an honest conversation about how both of you are feeling in the relationship. Something is missing, and it needs to be addressed before the distance becomes permanent. 2. The defensive explanations. The second warning sign is when simple questions start getting overly detailed or defensive responses. What used to be casual check-ins now feel like interrogations to her, even when that's not your intention. You ask, "How was your night out with friends?" She responds, "It was fine. We just went to dinner at that place on Main Street. Then Sarah wanted to get coffee, so we went to Starbucks for like 30 minutes. Then I came straight home and went to bed early. Nothing exciting happened." I remember doing this when I was feeling guilty about being emotionally distant from my partner. Even innocent questions felt loaded because I was carrying internal conflict. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I felt like I was because I knew my heart wasn't fully in the relationship anymore. These defensive explanations often include unnecessary timeline details, multiple location mentions, emphasizing that nothing happened, volunteering information you didn't ask for, mentioning other people were present. What's really happening is internal guilt. Not necessarily about specific actions, but about emotional disconnection. When someone knows they're not being fully present in their relationship, even normal questions can feel accusatory. This is your cue to create a safe space for honest conversation. Ask how she's feeling about the relationship overall, not just about specific events. Sometimes people get defensive because they're struggling with feelings they don't know how to express. 3. The sudden privacy shift. The third warning sign is when someone who used to be open about their phone, plans, or activities suddenly becomes more private. This isn't necessarily about hiding specific things, it's often about creating emotional space. Messages like, "Going out tonight, not sure when I'll be back," "Busy today, we'll talk later," "Phone died, just saw your message." I've noticed this pattern in my own behavior when I was emotionally checking out. I wasn't planning anything deceptive, but I was unconsciously creating distance. I stopped sharing details because sharing details requires emotional investment, and I was withdrawing that investment. The privacy shift often includes less detail about daily activities, delayed responses to messages, vague plans that used to be specific, phone face down or away during conversations, less sharing about friends, work, or feelings. This behavior usually stems from feeling emotionally overwhelmed or disconnected. When someone is questioning their relationship, they often need space to process their feelings without having to explain or justify everything. Instead of becoming suspicious, try having a conversation about connection. Ask if she's feeling overwhelmed or if there's something she needs in the relationship that she's not getting. 4. The emotional distance messages. The fourth warning sign appears in messages that show emotional withdrawal, responses that feel polite but lack warmth or investment. Instead of engaging with your emotions, you get responses like, "That sounds frustrating," instead of, "I'm sorry you're dealing with that. What can I do to help?" "Glad it went well," instead of, "I'm so proud of you. Tell me everything." "Hope you feel better," instead of, "What can I bring you? Do you need anything?" When I was emotionally pulling away from relationships, I found myself responding to my partner's life updates like I would to an acquaintance. I cared on some level, but I wasn't emotionally invested enough to truly engage. These messages show caring in words but lack emotional investment. Acknowledging what you said without building on it. Offering generic comfort instead of specific support. Responding to facts but not feelings. Missing opportunities to deepen connection. This pattern often develops because someone is protecting themselves from feeling too connected to a relationship they're uncertain about. They don't want to be mean, but they also can't bring themselves to be fully present. If you notice this pattern, it's time to talk about emotional intimacy in your relationship. Ask if she's feeling connected to you, and be prepared to hear that she might not be. 5. The future avoidance texts. The fifth and most telling warning sign is when someone starts avoiding conversations about future plans or commitments. Messages that used to include future references suddenly become very present-focused. Instead of, "We should plan our vacation for next month," you get, "Let's figure out this weekend first." Instead of, "I can't wait for your sister's wedding next year," you get, "That's still far away." I realized I was doing this when I was unsure about my relationship's future. Making future plans felt dishonest when I wasn't sure I wanted a future with that person. It wasn't conscious deception, it was emotional self-protection. Future avoidance messages include deflecting conversations about upcoming events, avoiding commitment to plans more than a week away, responding to future talk with present concerns, being vague about holiday plans or family events, changing the subject when you mention relationship milestones. This behavior usually indicates someone is questioning the relationship's longevity. They don't want to make promises they might not keep, so they avoid making plans they might not want to fulfill. This is the most serious warning sign because it indicates fundamental uncertainty about the relationship's future. What these patterns really mean. Before anyone panics about these signs, let me be clear. These patterns don't automatically mean someone is planning to hurt you. More often, they indicate someone who is emotionally disconnected and possibly considering ending the relationship through proper communication. These behaviors usually stem from feeling unheard or unappreciated in the relationship, questioning compatibility or long-term potential, feeling overwhelmed by relationship expectations, struggling with personal issues affecting the relationship, growing apart due to different life directions. The goal isn't to become paranoid about every text message, it's to recognize when your relationship needs attention before small problems become relationship-ending issues. Here's the truth: relationships require constant attention and communication. When someone starts showing these text patterns, it's usually because their emotional needs aren't being met, not because they're inherently deceptive people. If you recognize these signs in your relationship, don't panic or become accusatory. Instead, create space for honest conversation. Ask how your partner is feeling about the relationship. Ask what they need that they're not getting. Ask how you can both work together to strengthen your connection. Sometimes these conversations reveal fixable problems. Sometimes they reveal fundamental incompatibilities. But either way, addressing issues directly is better than ignoring warning signs until it's too late. Remember, healthy relationships require two people who are committed to working through difficulties together. If your partner is willing to have honest conversations and work on reconnecting, there's hope. If they're not willing to engage, that tells you something important too. The goal isn't to control anyone's behavior or monitor their messages. It's to build relationships based on mutual respect, honest communication, and genuine connection. If this video helped you understand relationship dynamics better, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you noticed these patterns in past relationships? How did you address them? Remember, you deserve a relationship where both people are fully present and committed to making it work. Don't settle for less.